And I'm really happy today because the best thing imaginable happened yesterday, which is I got orchids in the post. And we all love getting presents, and I particularly love getting orchids. But these were a gift from somebody I met in a forum. So it really pays to go out there and, you know, make contacts with people. But the first super thing I got, and the only thing I was supposed to get, was this lovely Cymbidium. Now, it doesn't look anything at the moment, except a fine, healthy looking specimen. But this is going to flower with black flowers. And we all love black flowers. We all want as many black flowers in our lives as possible. It's called Cali Night Geyserland. And I googled it. It looks absolutely gorgeous. But I also noticed that there's another black Cymbidium out there called Kiwi Midnight Geyserland. So Kiwi Midnight is the Grex and Geyserland is the cultivar, as it is the cultivar in the case of this one. So I wonder what the history behind that is. Anyway, I don't know. But the other thing I got in the post, and it was a surprise to me, was a Coelogyne orchid. Now, Coelogyne, you'll see it written up on the screen. When pronouncing plant names, the most important thing isn't to pronounce them correctly. The most important thing is to pronounce them like everybody else does. So Coelogyne is what this orchid is called, and Coelogyne is the way I pronounce it. And this is the one that arrived in the post for me. And you can see it is absolutely enormous. It came in 3 pieces, that one there, and a third one there. Very, very little root. So what I've done is I've potted it up in a shallow dish because they only like, they needed to be potted shallowly anyway. And I've potted it up in pure sphagnum, which I happen to have here because I'm expecting to pot up my peonies any day now, and I've no idea what I'm going to do when they arrive. Let me just stay there, cameraman. I'll just show you what this sphagnum moss looks like when it arrives. It's a hard compressed block like this, and you kind of pull the bits out and break them up and then moisten it, and then it works perfectly well. But it was a bit of a surprise when I saw it first. Anyway, that's it. And the other thing I did when I potted this up was I got my husband to make pegs for me out of a clothes hanger. Right, so here's the clothes hanger, and he got a wire cutting thingy and just cut off bits of wire, say for example like that one there. And then when I had something like that, I was able to use it to affix the plant into the sphagnum and just hold it steady, because this thing has so few roots that they weren't going to anchor it into the medium. So that should be okay as long as I keep it moist. Now, Coelogyne, of course, are cold orchids, but they're also wet orchids. They need to be kept really, really moist. Now, when I say moist, I don't mean moist like Phalaenopsis. We all say Phalaenopsis are moist orchids. Not like this, more moist than this, so it'll be grand in the pure sphagnum. And it's a cold one, so I keep Coelogyne in the greenhouse with a minimum of 5 degrees, and that really is fine with this particular orchid. But this one is going to be kept indoors this year because it's just, so new and it's establishing. I just thought, since we're talking about Coelogyne, that I'd point out my own one here, which is this one behind. And this was grown from a seedling more than 4 years ago, and it flowers grand for me. But just look at the difference between this one here and the new one I got. The size of the pseudobulbs is the noticeable thing. Like, these are enormous fat pseudobulbs, and the smallest pseudobulb here, I suppose, would be this one over here, and that's the same size as the biggest of my pseudobulbs over here. So there's a vast difference between the two, and I think it's down to, I've been told it's a very variable species. So some plants can be much bigger than others. They can also have much more massive flowers, which I believe this new one has. And also they can flower much more freely. So this one is supposed to be very free flowering, whereas my little fella took a long time to get going, and now it flowers once a year. But it does have buds on it, and let me see if I can show you where the buds are coming from. Let's see. Right, so here's a new little growth coming out here, and that will eventually form a bud. With Coelogyne cristata, the growth is heteranthus growth. Let me see, did I get that right? Heteranthus growth, which means the flower spike comes out from the base of the pseudobulb and flowers, and then the growth dies back and disappears. And as you can see on the plant that I've just had in the post, I've got 3 well-formed buds. Look at that, that's enormous. It's about to flower. 1, 2, 3. But the very sad news is that as this plant has very little root growth, I am going to have to cut off those buds just to give the plant a chance, to give it a chance to, tunnel its energies into growing roots rather than supporting these enormous buds. So, I think I'm going to cry at this point. I have the scissors here, which I've sterilised through just putting some boiling water on it and letting it cool down. It's cooled down now. And now I am going to cut off these enormous buds that would support flowers much more enormous than my Coelogyne ever would. And I hate this bit. I'm such a wimp when it comes to it. But now there's no problem about cutting off these new growths, because as we said, the cristata, Coelogyne cristata, is a heteranous type plant. So these would have just shriveled away and died anyway after the flower had bloomed. So I'm only going to do the plant good by snipping this off. Tell yourself that. Yes, I'm telling myself that. Okay, let's just do it. Oh, God. Jesus. Okay. Oops, bleep. There's the first one. Oh, maybe I should keep one just to see what they look like. No, don't do it. Just do it. Okay. And the last one. Okay, that was really stressful, and that's the end of them. But I'm sure the plant will thank me and start to produce roots, and hopefully soon I'll get flowers on it myself. And hopefully anyway, we can come back and see the small flowers on my own Coelogyne in a little while, in about a month. And in fact, the thumbnail on this video is a picture of my own plant here as it flowered last year. So if you're a real sadist out there and you enjoyed watching this video and enjoyed watching me getting all upset and everything, then please do subscribe. And otherwise, thanks very much for watching, and hope to see you on here again soon. Bye now.